the voice in your ears and the face on your screen. I'm Perfect Pervis, and this is American Football in Finland. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Q Floyd.
What's going on? We back.
We back at it. Week 1 is about to go down. But before we get into it, the AFF podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Seriously, American Football in Finland is currently available on 25 different platforms. Wherever you listen, be sure to rate us. Anything less than 5 stars will tell us that you are a hater. This is season 5 for AFF, and we really appreciate all the support we've received so far, and we're looking forward to keeping this thing going. So before we even get into the show, Q, how was your weekend, man?
Oh, man, my weekend was great, man. We actually got to watch some football. So I was happy about that. I was tuned in. There was a lot of live streaming going on. So Finland is winning right now because it's the only place football is being played. So I feel good about that.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw me out there, but, I was out in Vantaa and Helsinki this weekend, caught me 2 games, really felt the spirit of the sport. Check the social media. There's like 50 games going on, so many divisions. So it's exciting. And now we're about to have the Maple League next week. I mean, I'm geeked up just talking about it. I'm going to stop talking about it. But it's exciting. All right, Q, it's that time, man. Let's get it off our chest. What do you want to get off your chest this week?
GFL. That's who I want to get it off my chest this week.
I'm glad you said it.
I don't know what's going on in the GFL, but if y'all watching this, if y'all listening to this, I expected better out of the GFL. Obviously, it's a lot of teams, big-name teams that I believe survive strictly off of having imports, and that was the reason why they decided not to play this season. I don't like that because I feel like you're saving face. You don't want us to see your local talent and what kind of team you are without all those imports. A lot of these other teams that don't have as much money as you guys, they're trying to have a season or somewhat of a season because they'll fold. They need to make money some kind of way. And I feel like, and I'm not saying this as I don't care about what's going on in the world and the virus and everything, but at the end of the day, we're football players. Like, if you're more scared of a virus than you are a player breaking his neck, breaking his leg, possibly dying every time he gets on the field, then I understand. I really do understand if you feel like the virus is a lot more serious than that. But I feel like we play a blood sport. There is no other game like football. So I definitely expected better out of the GFL. A lot of those teams with money decided not to participate in this season, and it hurts a lot of those other teams that do need this season to play. So that's one thing I want to get out of my chest. GFL, I wanted y'all to do better than what y'all did, but hey, it is what it is now.
Hey, man, I got to jump on the bandwagon then. We got to support. It skipped my mind about the GFL, but shit, I'm upset about it too. No, I'm not really upset about it, guys. I really, at this point of the year, I feel like, okay, GFL, just don't happen because I don't even want to have to start thinking about what's that going to entail for the rest of Europe. I think at this point, for Finland, it's a good situation because now everybody kind of wants to play in the Finnish league because they can't really go to the Austrian league if they wanted to. So, I mean, good situation for us. But again, like what you said, for football in Europe, it's like a punch to the stomach because it's going to set us back. As an American out here, obviously, I'm one of those guys who thinks, this is something that can become, a professional sport in Europe. The GFL dropping from a 16-team league to a 6-team league where two of the top teams in the league aren't playing when you're talking about the New Yorker Lions and the Frankfurt Universe. Those are 2 internationally known brands. I said brands, not teams, brands. So when you take those out of the league, it's going to lose some value from that around Europe, and that's just not good overall. I was already pushing for bring back the Euro Bowl, but if you can't even get teams in your own league to play, how can we connect together internationally? So going forward, going into 2021, how many teams are going to be willing to say, okay, well, we want to play German teams or we want to play against these teams internationally after the way that they were so unorganized about getting together to support the sport? Because a lot of those international games that we're looking forward to, there's no money involved. Those teams aren't making anything out of that. It's strictly to boost the exposure of the sport. Now, if you decide not to play in this season, at this time of the year, you're going to be playing almost in the fall. So you're going to be kind of online with, the NFL and college football. Like people are going to, their weekends were going to be, and they're still going to be by some of these smaller leagues, jam-packed, Thursday, I'm watching Maple League. Friday, I'm probably watching more Maple League. But I can also watch an international game stream somewhere, probably Sweden or Czech Republic or Denmark even. Saturday, I'm watching college in the morning. And then in the evening, I'd like to watch, German or maybe Maple League. But German Football League, it might be more sporadic. I might not be able to. But you're going to be able to fit into that, time slot of the weekend. NFL on Sunday, but it's late Sunday. So during the day, maybe I'll watch GFL. And then I'll go watch the NFL, make it a full day of football. Like even a team could pull that off. Like, hey, come to our game. After the game, for the post game, you can watch an NFL game. Like there's so many options of what could have been done to help the entire sport. And for so many teams in the largest and best league in Europe not to figure it out is just disappointing. I guess I do care. Ultimately, I said I didn't care first, but then I started talking. That's how it goes when you start talking. But it's off my chest now, so that's my piece. And I'm not mad anymore. We're gonna move on, and we will survive as we always do in this sport. All right, so football season is starting in Finland. We've been able to see a few games online. Some teams have streamed. Some people have, made home videos. So there's been some football that we've seen. In the past, you guys, we've done, Q's top plays and highlights and stuff like that. But we're going to go a different direction this year, guys. Q, he's seen some stuff that he just doesn't care for. We watched the game and he's like, nah, bro, that ain't the way it's supposed to happen. So this week, he saw something he didn't like. He hit me up. He said, Pervis, I got to let him know. So, Q, let him know what happened, man. What happened?
All right, like you said, this is a new thing we do, the Nah Bruh section of the show. This week against Roman Navy against the UNC Crusaders and Eric Lee Irving. Sir, you are up today on the Nah Bruh section. Now, let's take a look at this clip. We got Roman Navy against the UNC Crusaders. As you can see, Eric Lee Irving is coming up to make a tackle. And, Santry Letina, this right here, I don't even know what you call this. I don't know if you call it a donkey punch or stiff arm or what. But, Eric, nah, bruh. We're going to need a little more out of you than that.
Okay, so here on the AFF podcast, we like to expand our minds sometimes outside of the Maple League. So today we're going to talk about other news going on in Finland and outside of Finland. First thing I want to talk about going on in Finland, Division I games were played this weekend. As you heard on the Nabras segment earlier, UNC kind of beat the crap out of Rovaniemi Norman. The score was 57-14 for anybody that didn't know. Also, the Pori Bears played in Division I, and they beat East City Giants 15-14. They had a close one. The Kotka Eagles are playing the Tampa Saints in Division I, but we record this show on Sunday, and they have yet to play before we record it, so we don't have a score for that. And that's okay. Also, for the women's Vaterliga started this weekend. And on Saturday, the Turku Trojans beat the Tampa Saints 41-6. The Helsinki Wolverines beat the West Coast Phoenix 37-0. Shout out to the Helsinki Wolverines ladies because I was at that game. I was enjoying it. It looked like they were having a lot of fun out there. A lot of interceptions were thrown. A lot of hard tackles out there with those ladies as well.
Oh, yeah.
And also, a lot of people were at the games. I don't know if anybody was, keeping score or tallying the amount of spectators, but I was at least 200 people out at that Wolverines versus West Coast Phoenix game. And West Coast Phoenix probably had about 50 fans themselves out there. So it was a lot of people out there. It was a good time. Only thing I'm missing is Helsinki Wolverines. I'm talking to you now. There was no merch. There was no merchandise being sold out there. I wanted to buy a Wolverine shirt and support the ladies. I had to just buy some coffee and pretzels instead. That cost like €3. But oh well. I mean, I can't. When you go to the game and get all caught up in the spirit of it, like, hey, let me, support the game. This is opportunity. Y'all need to be having some merchandise out there so people can buy some stuff and support the teams. I don't want to hear nothing about it's online. If I was to buy the shirt online, I got to buy it. It got to come in the mail. That's too long. I wanted to get a shirt, put it on, and root at the game. Instead, I got a coffee and a pretzel. It's a good pretzel, though. Very good pretzel. I mean,
yeah.
You just missed out on like $20 for me, but that's just me. Also, there was a lot of junior games played. Again, I was out there this weekend, guys. Shout out to the East City Giants and Taft Juniors. I think they're called the ECG Taft Mustangs. They beat the Wausau Royals U17 team 40-0. It was a really dominant performance on their part. Weather wasn't bad. It was pretty warm out there in Vanta. So it was good to see the kids out there and really playing football. It was some good football being played. So just shout out to you guys. That's it for me on, what happened in Finland and what we saw and what we were around. Obviously, if you have any highlights or any photos from your games or any score updates, hit us on the gram, tag American football in Finland. Tag hashtag American Football in Finland, and we'll try to share it on our stories or on our page so everybody can see what's going on. Finland, we own out here, man. Football season is going, so let's just keep this all up. Q, things are changing out here.
They're changing, man.
Hey, we're still in other news, but if you haven't heard, we're gonna call this breaking news. But by the time this podcast come out, people should already know about this. But there will be an international broadcast of the Maple League games this year. American Football International, which is a news and media website that really covers the sport internationally outside of the NFL mostly. They're going to be streaming and broadcasting the Maple League games to anyone outside of Finland. If you're in Finland, you still got to do Route 2, baby. You still got to do Route 2. But if you're outside of Finland, the AFI platform is going to make the games available. And I wanted to ask you about that, Q. Like, what do you think that does for, the Maple League and football in Finland?
I think that's a great thing. If anybody that follows AFI outside of this season, that they stream a lot of games through that website. And I think for Finland, I kind of expected this because, it's not a lot of leagues that's going to be playing football, and a lot of those football fans are going to want to watch something. So why not watch one of the leagues that obviously one of Europe's top team is in, and some good football. I mean, a lot of people will be more inclined to watch now and check out Finnish football, and it'll give a lot of these guys exposure to get to college maybe and to get to other platforms to play football. So I think it's a good opportunity, and everybody was, over the years, people haven't been so happy about Route 2. Not that anything is wrong with it, but if you're outside of America and you don't have the Route 2 subscription, you can't watch the games, and I think that was holding it back a little bit. So now people everywhere, every country can watch it, and I think it's a good thing.
And I think just to sum it up, guys, they about to put Finland on the map, and I say that, and I mean that literally, because some people have no idea that Finland is even a country. So this will be interesting, especially outside of Europe. So also in other news, let's go international. This weekend, Maple League is the only top league playing in Europe, but I think the week after, so I'm saying like next week, Denmark starts their league, another Scandinavian country or Nordic country, however you want to say it. And August 8th, I want to say it's the Solarod Gold Diggers versus the AAB 89ers. And that's the only game they're going to have. So, everybody wants to be like Finland, guys. That's what I'm saying. We start this week, and then next week, Denmark starts. Then the week after that, like 5 leagues will start. So, whew. It's not just football in Finland anymore. It's about to be American football in Europe, and then American football, and then American football in college, and then American football in the NFL. Oh, it's like just a graduating scale, man. Don't quote us on American football in Europe, but if somebody wants to start American football in Europe, we gladly, tell you what's happening in Finland on your show. If you need somebody to come in and say some stuff. Perfect Pervis, Coach Q. We're here.
We got you.
Yeah. That's it for other news. There's a lot of stuff going on both in Finland and internationally. And just like we said, we restarted the podcast after the coronavirus. It's an exciting time for football, really. It is. There's a lot of anticipation. And even like this weekend, watching all those games, everyone was enjoying it. It was just a really good vibe. And I'm really glad to be in Finland at this point in time because I feel like our situation is a little bit better than a lot of other people's, and we're able to, still be able to play this sport at a high and efficient level. Like it's good football being played. So that's it for the other news. We're going to get into the scoop and start talking to some of the players playing in this week's upcoming games. Okay, so we're here with the Helsinki Wolverines' new quarterback, Chris Forcier. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll get right into the questions. Week 1 in Maple League. Q, what questions you got for that, man?
First of all, welcome to the Helsinki Wolverines. This is your first time playing in Finland, as far as I know, right? What brought you to play for the Wolverines?
Pretty simple. Mike Madeline, our DC, when I was in Ingolstadt playing for the Dukes, originally signed to play in Germany with him. And unfortunately, the season just didn't unfold the way we wanted to with the pandemic going around. And he's had close ties and connections to Finland previously for the last 2 years. And opportunity came his way. He departed from Germany about 2 weeks before I did. And fortunately, the door opened for me to come over here, and I'm very happy I did so. One of the few countries in the world right now being able to play football, so that's awesome. And 2, just an opportunity for myself to get back on the field, compete, do the things that I love to do, my passion, play football, live in Europe. So it's just been an awesome experience so far. I've never been to Finland. I do know that the Maple League is one of the better leagues in Europe. I've followed the game closely in Europe since my first time coming over in 2013. So I'm just excited to be here and happy to be in a nice city. And Mike was really the main reason he opened that door for me. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
You be careful out there, Helsinki, man. Everybody knows what happens in the sink. What I wanted to ask you, Chris, was a little bit more about your receiving core. We spoke to Mike. Was that last week we talked to Madeline?
Yeah.
It was last week before, I can't remember. But last time we had him on the podcast, actually, he brazenly said that you guys have the best, 4 to 6 receiving core in all of Europe. I just want to know, how do you feel about the guys you're going to be tossing that pigskin to this upcoming weekend?
I would say that I'm very fortunate. I got some talent on my side of the ball. As we do know, though, we've had a short time to prepare. So offensively, it relies on the rhythm and the connection that you're able to make and those repetitions that we get in practice. We do a high repetition volume right now in practice. So I'm getting used to their route running abilities, their style, where I like to place the ball and whatnot. And it's just all about timing. It's a short season. It's coming in pretty hot. And but I'm very, very happy with what I've seen. These guys are definitely more talented than anything I've been around in Europe so far. Sebastian Sagne, Mickey, very good route runners, very experienced. They've played at a high level. So, hey, just looking to see what we can do and kind of just go day by day with it.
Q, you got another question for this man?
Yeah, being that it is a short season, as a quarterback, sometimes you don't have to let it fly or whatever, like, because you'll play a team another time. Being that it's a shorter season, do you think you'll be more aggressive as far as, maybe throws that you would normally probably wouldn't make, you'll make now because you just never know if you'll get a chance to play these guys again? So do you feel like the shortened season makes you feel, a little more confident, a little more aggressive now?
I just try to take it play by play, really. Fortunately, I've played this game a long time at many different levels. And as a quarterback, you just got to take care of the ball and manage the game and play within the situation. It's a down and distance game. So just to move the chains, I try to keep it as simple as I really can. And I can get 4 yards of play, we're going to be good. We move the ball down the field, we score, keep the ball out of the other team's hands, and just manage the clock. Hopefully our defense can get a few stops out there along the way to help us out. And that's just really what it comes down to, is that consistency and taking care of the ball and moving the chains.
All right, Chris, I know it's hard to, predict and, assume what's going to happen in the future, things like that. But a lot of people here in Finland, they haven't seen you play personally, might not know your style of play. So obviously understanding that even before this first game is going to be something people want to know. So I want to know is, what type of quarterback are you, when the shit hits the fan? And I say that because that's the expression that needs to be said. When things go sideways in either the play calling, the execution, injuries, maybe the defense starts giving up the butt and you're down by a lot of scores and things start to break down, what is usually your go-to, mentality if you're in that type of situation? Not saying that you will be, maybe y'all just beat everybody, but if shit hit the fan, what can we expect from Chris Forcier?
I think it's just myself. I know my abilities athletically. When things are going your way, you got to remain calm as a quarterback and kind of just become a leader in all facets of the game. And whether that's me, passing or running, I can take off and run. I am a dual threat quarterback. Just knowing the situation you're in, not trying to force anything. Can you hear me? I have to cut out right there.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry about that. Really just trying to take over the game and playing with myself. I've been in situations before that are tough at many levels, playing against Florida Gators and things like that back in college. So I've been in those situations where I just have to, just do what I can, not try to play outside of my ability is what it comes down to. But I will, take off and run if I need to get that first down, whatever situation calls for. I'm experienced enough and trust myself. And also just motivating the guys out there not to ever get down on themselves ever. It's a tough game. Things are going to go the other way, bounce the other direction. But it's really just comes down to that communication between the guys and staying positive and then, playing each play, as I said before.
Great answers, man. Q, did you have anything else for him? That was all I had.
You was out there in Poland. Was Deontay out there when you was out there?
Yeah, I was with Deontay.
Okay, yeah. Deontay, did he kind of tell you a little bit about Finland when he was there?
Just a little bit. Deontay is he's a veteran.
Yeah. I was going to say
shout out to Deontay Battle. He's a legend in the game out there in Poland doing this thing. Everybody still knows him. He has a lot of connections actually with Finnish football through just being in Poland. Those two countries actually, there's a lot of crossover if you go back into history times. So that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love Deontay. I miss him for sure. He's besides football, he's a very good person. It was definitely a great experience just to be around him in my 1 year last year there. So.
Okay.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, that's all.
All right, Chris Forcier, that's all the questions we got for you. Appreciate you coming on the podcast. We wish you and the Helsinki Wolverines best of luck this weekend against the Crocodiles, man. Take it easy.
Definitely appreciate it. Appreciate what you guys do out here for football in Europe. There was nothing like this when it first came out in 2013. So what you guys do is huge. It's awesome. It's the growth of the game. And, someone's got to do it. And we're very lucky that you guys do that too. So
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right. Take
You
it
too.
easy. We're here with Kuopio Steelers defensive back, Maple League All-Star. I don't know if he's Maple League All-Star, but I know he was our All-Star. Tommy K. And I'm not even going to try to say your last name, man. I'm sorry about that, but welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate y'all having me. Yeah, I mean, you tried to say it last year a little bit, but
I did pretty well. Is it Kazcocha?
Never mind, you did terrible.
Kaczocha.
Kaczocha.
There you go.
That's easy.
Kaczocha?
That's real easy, man.
People make it harder than it has to be, bro. I don't know.
It's because people try to read the letters. If it's Kaczocha, that's easy. That's like Mickey J name is J, but if you see the Kyei, a lot of people like Kai and stuff. So okay.
Messes you off.
Tommy Kaczocha.
Yeah, don't get fooled by the letters.
Yeah. Tommy Kaczocha. Oh man, Tommy K does have a nice ring to it though, so let's stay with the Tommy K, man. But yeah, let's get into this interview. You guys got a big game coming up, week 1 against the Helsinki Roosters. You know, you joined the Steelers last season. You guys seen them two times in the season, 1 time in the Maple Bowl. Week 1 going back into it. A lot of questions, a lot of different things. I'm gonna let Q ask the first question. Q, what do you want to know from this man?
My first question is, being that we're a few days away from the first game, what kind of first game do you expect for you to have personally and for your team to have?
Well, I mean, personally, not much has changed for me. I feel like I've gotten a lot better technically this season. I've been really focusing on myself, especially during this whole quarantine situation, just getting stronger in the weight room, quicker feet, quicker just mental quickness. So I don't think much has changed for me. I'm just going to go out there and do my thing and let the cards fall where they may. But for a team, I think this year the confidence is a lot higher than it was last year, just because we played them 3 times. Right, we've won twice, we've lost once, and I'm not gonna go back on that championship game, but it is what it is. I think we've moved past that, and I think we're all excited for the challenge again, because it's a new season, new everything really with this year being so different. So I think this year there's a lot of confidence with this team, which is really nice and refreshing. So I think we're gonna go out there and just do what we've been doing every day at practice and doing what we've been doing for the past couple months and see what happens.
Gotcha.
Yep. Say now, my question, I'm going to get all in your business, Tommy. Okay. And I'm going to set up the question, guys, because, we like to talk on this show. Last year, you came in there week 1. You shut down the American receiver, Nnamdi Agude. You shut him down. We seen it. Put you at cornerback, shut him down. Dude couldn't get nowhere. We keep it real on the show. And it was exciting to see. Now, going into this week 1 matchup, the Roosters, they're all finished. They have a lot of talent at the receiver position, including a guy who was actually on your team last season. So my question to you, all that just to lead up to the question. My question to you, Tommy, is who on the Roosters offensive side are you most excited to match up with and, get some work in with in this game? Like, who do you want to, go against?
You're asking me who I want to check. That's what you're asking right
now. Yeah, exactly. Who do you want to check? Yeah, you said it.
Honestly, to me, I know what I can bring to the table, so it really doesn't matter. Obviously, Johannes, we know each other very well. He knows our defense. We know him. So that'll be fun, and I know a lot of the guys are excited to see him again. But for me personally, it doesn't matter. I just know I know what I can do. So whoever's lining up against me, they better bring it the whole game because I know they might catch 1 or 2 balls on me, but you got to play full 60 minutes against me.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Q, what else did you have for this man?
Just another quick one. Do you think this is a statement game? I mean, I know last year, and not to go back into last year, you guys won the first game, but being that this is a shortened season, and it's not that we play each other twice and then maybe again in the championship game. This first game might be the most important. So do you think this is a statement game for you guys? Do you feel like this is a must win?
I wouldn't say really a statement game because I think every game is going to be a big game this year, especially because it's a shortened season. But I think it would just be a great confidence builder for the rest of the season. If we can go in there and not just win, but win dominantly, which is the plan. Like that's what we want to do for every week. I think that will help get us on the right path to just building that confidence as a unit. But yeah, I would say, you could say, I guess it's a statement game. We can go out there and put up a show, then we'll feel good going in the rest of the season. But like I said, every game is going to be very important for us this year. Every game.
Gotcha.
Okay, so last question I'm gonna ask you, Tommy. Then we'll let you get out of here, man. You guys' defense, you're gonna have a lot of new personnel coming in this year, mostly in like the linebacker and the deep defensive back areas. You got changing parts, and word on the street is that the defensive scheme has changed a little bit as well. So my question to you is that what do you think about this defense that you guys are running now with the personnel? What do you think about it is going to make it tough for the Roosters to be successful in this week 1 game?
I think we've gotten a lot faster. That's one thing I can definitely say. Being at practice and seeing how guys respond, we've gotten a lot faster side to side, like sideline to sideline speed, and just mentally, we've gotten a lot faster. There's not as many mental mistakes. There's not as many mental lapses between us defensive backs. I think Santri being, kind of a DB coach for us, he's really made it a lot easier for many of the guys. So I think this year defensively, we're just going to be a lot faster and a lot just more mentally sharp and ready to play, which is huge. So, yeah, I think it's there. We're running a lot of the same stuff, but I think the players in the like what you said, in the linebacker position, we have a Semi being our pass rusher now, being that Von Miller type player. It's going to make everything a lot easier for us in the back end, getting that pressure and just having guys all together playing as a unit.
You have anything else for him, Q? That was all the questions I had.
Nah, he pretty much hit everything.
All right, Tommy, we appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. Tommy Kaczocha. I don't know why people made it seem like it was much harder to say, but we're still gonna call you Tommy K because that's like your stage name out here. But Tommy, good luck to you guys this week against the Helsinki Roosters, and wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season, man. We'll see you out there.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Okay, so with week 1 coming up, it's a lot of unknown in the Maple League. So right now we're gonna ask the tough questions. We're gonna ask the questions that some of these teams need to answer in their week 1 games. Let's start off with the Wolverine Crocodiles game. What is something that you think the Wolverines need to answer to you this week, Q?
I think the Wolverines need to answer, can their defense stand up against the rest of these Maple League teams? Being that they don't have a lot of imports, they don't have a lot of known names on their defense. Are they able to get stops when the offense need them? And are they able to make some plays on the defense side of the ball, get turnovers, sacks? Can they be? They don't have to be dominant, but can they stop teams when they need to? And can they hold leads if they actually get them on offense? So I think that's an important question that I want to see from the Wolverines defense.
That's a good question. My question for the Wolverines is, can they start fast and not be overly confident? Obviously, I'm going a little bit back to last year. I know this is a different squad, but again, we see almost the same setup. You brought in a lot of really good players, new players to the Wolverines, and there's high expectations, and we saw in the first game last year, they came out really flat against the Crocodiles. It's crazy they're playing the same team again, but they came out really flat against the Crocodiles and almost lost that game, but ended up their talent eventually outweighed what the Crocodiles had going. Well, with this team, I feel like you don't want to waste that energy with two brand new teams coming into it. Will they be able to? Will they be able to start fast with this new group of people on both offense and defense and not kind of say, okay, well, we're the better team or we look better on paper, so we should be fine no matter what? I really want to see if they're going to start fast in this game. So moving on to the Crocodiles, what is a question you got for them going into this game?
My question that I would like for the Crocodiles to answer in this game is, I guess it could basically be a team thing. Is this team able to come into this first game and be able to stand up athletically against the Wolverines offense, and defensively, can the Crocs can they make plays when they need to? The same thing I said for the Wolverines on the other side, but obviously, can the Crocs offense put up points fast in a hurry to where the Wolverines have to throw a lot, they have to take chances more. So the identity of the Crocs is the answer that I need to see. Like who will this team be in these 5 games?
Yeah, that makes sense. My question for the Crocs is, does your defense have the necessary pieces to slow down or even stop the Wolverines offense, which is full of talented receivers and a great quarterback? I need to know, does your defense have the right pieces to slow them down? So let's move on to the second game, the Saturday game, which is going to be the Roosters hosting the Steelers. What kind of questions do you have for the Roosters?
Man, it's kind of hard, but my question that I would like for the Roosters to answer in this game is, are they going to continue to be that high power that we've seen in the past, being that they're all national? Is Miro going to be able to still make those plays that he made when he had imports with these local guys? And will it happen often? Defensively, I don't really – I want the Roosters to be the Roosters on defense. So are they going to be able to stop Kuopio's imports? Are they going to be able to match up against Kuopio's imports? Their D-line is going to be their D-line, obviously, but I think Kuopio has practiced just as much as the Roosters have practiced. So the question for me, for the Roosters are they still going to be that pass run kind of balanced offense, or is it going to be, hey, let's Miro do what he did last year and throw the ball?
My question for the Roosters is going to be, will the Finnish receivers step up and support young Kari and Miro the Hero? I think that those two guys are kind of the face and the name of that offense going into the season, but at times they're going to need help. And are these guys going to be able to do that? I think just looking at the roster, they have the pieces. I could go and name them all, but I won't, because I want them to prove it themselves. So you know who you are, receivers for the Roosters. Will you step up and help these two guys, especially in this week 1 matchup where I think the Roosters are going to need everything they got to beat the Steelers? So moving on to the Steelers, what's the question you got for them, Q?
I need to know if the Steelers are ready to not only just beat the Roosters, but are they ready to dominantly beat them on a regular basis? This first game, we've seen them, play first game before. We've seen Kuopio win. Kuopio is probably one of the only teams that have beaten the Roosters more than once. If I'm not mistaken, they're the only team that beat them more than once in the past probably 3 years. So I need to know if Kuopio is ready. That's that. I don't have any other question other than that. I need to know if they're ready to step up and be one of those top teams in Finland, not just because all the other teams aren't that good or changing out players all the time. Like, is the organization ready to be considered one of the top teams? And the only way that you can do that is if you beat the Roosters. And this first game will tell a lot.
It's true. For me, I'm going to ask the Steelers, will all the new moving parts be enough to disrupt whatever game plan the Roosters have been preparing, basically since March? With all the new changes, the Steelers roster, it just changed recently. There was new additions, right before the season, a month before the season even. The Roosters in March, they were ready to go. And they've been saying this, like, hey, we were ready, and then they put the season on pause. And now we're ready again. And the only thing that's changed is we've had a little bit more time to game plan and, sure up some things that maybe weren't great in March, but now they are. So for the Steelers, I want to know if everything you did is it gonna work? Bringing in all the new players, changing positions, getting new coaches, changing a little bit of your game plan. Is that gonna work to stop these Roosters? And you got one shot here, and I'm really excited to see it. I really hope that you can, but also I think you need to prove it. That's something that you're gonna have to answer with this game: is did you do enough to disrupt the game plan or whatever they have going towards you in this week 1 matchup? So moving on to the last game of the weekend, you got the Porvoo Butchers, who are going to be traveling to Vasa to play against the Wassa Royals. What questions do you have for the Butchers?
The question I have for the Butchers, who are you? Who are you? Who will you be this year? This is probably matchup-wise their best chance to I think this is matchup-wise, this is the best chance for the Butchers to show who they are. Because they're playing against a team that we don't really know much about as far as the roster. We do know some players that have played there before, but I think how would they play going on the road, going so far? Are you ready to challenge the Vasa Royals? Obviously, the Royals playing at home is an advantage for them. It's a long trip, but is Jabari ready to take this team to another level this season? With what they have. I mean, they don't have a lot of imports, but obviously he's the center of everything that goes on offense. So my question is he ready to go? Are the Butchers ready to go?
My question for the Butchers is this defense capable? Is it capable of stopping anyone? And I know that might come off a little harsh, but that's the question: is can you stop anybody? This defense has not been good in a while. We haven't seen any major changes in the roster going into the season that will inspire us to think that this defense is going to be good. So I really need to see in this week 1, when the Royals are another team of random pieces here and there, not 100% sure what they're going to be great at, are you going to be able to stop them? And they're anyone, because we really don't have a great idea about what the Royals are going to bring to the table offensively, but can you stop them? Is your defense ready? I think the offense of the Butchers is in good hands with Jabari, and they'll be fine, but I don't even care. I think that's offense that can play good, it can play bad, but it doesn't matter if the defense doesn't stop the other team. So is this defense capable of stopping anyone? I need to find that out in week 1. If you make good stops against the Royals, I can, depend on you going forward that you're going to get better and you have a good base point. But if the Royals come through and score 40 points, I mean, I'm not seeing them as like the best offense in the league, and that's just being realistic right now. The Royals has never been a team that wants to score 40 points, and I don't think that's changing over this season. So if they come out and put up a lot of points in this defense, you didn't prove it. So my question, again, is this defense capable of stopping anyone? Moving on to the Royals, what do you got for them? What's the question you want answered?
The question for the Royals, how are you going to start this season off? How are you going to start this season off? Are you going to start it off with a win? One thing that we do know, like I always say, you can never count out the Royals. Never. Some kind of way. I mean, they got one of the best head coaches coming in. They have a few, players coming from Sweden. They had a quarterback. They got Seppo playing. I mean, the heart of this team, they got Tom Sawosty. The heart of this team is immaculate. I mean, these guys will fight to the end, and you just got to commend them for that. But are they going to do that right now coming into playing the Butchers? Are they going to start it off with a win?
Man, that's a good one. My question for the Royals is, do they have that Sisu, that finished spirit? Do they have that, that is what it is, that I'm gonna get it done? I think that we've kind of always given the Royals a benefit of the doubt, as we should, because they've always been a team that's been able to, pull it out. And this is one of those seasons where, like you said, the core, I trust in them 100%. Like one-on-one, these guys, I think that they're going to be able to get it done. And those are guys that, if you get into it at the club and need somebody to have your back, I would love to have Seppo on my side, Like, yes, that's what their core is made of. A Tom Suosti, I know I can trust that man. But does the team have it? We've seen the online videos and the practice videos. It's a small amount of people. It's a small group. So it's going to take more than just having good players. They're going to have to play better than they are. They're going to have to come from situations that they're not expected to win. They're going to have to show that they have something more than talent, something more than skill, and that's that Sisu. And do they have it? I want to see it week one, because I think playing against the Butchers, this is that who's in the playoffs, who's out of the playoffs game. Out of these two teams, this is the game that gives you a closer edge to the playoffs. So if they have it in them, they're going to do whatever it takes to win this game. So I'm interested to see that and answer my question, guys. Do you have that Sisu?
Mm-hmm.
The Maple League kicks off this Thursday with the Seinäjoki Crocodiles traveling to the Helsinki Wolverines. And then on Friday, the Helsinki Roosters, will host the Kuopio Steelers. And the games will end on Saturday with the Porvoo Butchers traveling to Vasa to play against the Wausau Royals. Our panel of football experts will pick the winners for this week's game on our Instagram account at American Football in Finland. So feel free to find us in the comments with your thoughts, and we'll see you out there. That's it for this episode of American Football in Finland. Hope it was worth the listen and the watch. Q, any last words before we get out of here, man?
Only last words I got is, like I said before, I know it's a lot going on in the world right now. I believe in unity. I believe that football is one of those things that bring people from all over, every race, every culture together. I think we need football right now. I think we need it so bad because it kind of takes everybody's minds off of the divisive things that are going on in the world right now. So let's enjoy each other. Let's enjoy the sport, and let's keep working together and trying to make change. So that's all I got.
That's perfect, man. If you enjoy the show, please follow us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to rate us 5 stars as well. Anything less tells us you are a hater. You can follow us on the Gram and Facebook at American Football in Finland. Until next time, never forget
TIF.
we gone.